This is Wednesday, May 12th. There are 57 days until San Diego Comic-Con 2015. Welcome to the SDConCast, the official podcast of the San Diego Comic-Con unofficial blog.
V-A-N-U-H-T-E-E, go. Oh my god, I love my journal and my letter. It runs me I love the color scheme, it's ink and purple, little screen. I love all the posts I make and the million comments that they make. I love the internet and I love the world.
All right, 57 days means less than 2 months. I am your host. Yes, I am your host, James Riley, and joining me, as always, my partner in crime, Carrie Dixon.
Hey, everybody.
And our special guest today is Caitlin, who is our very own Lisa's daughter. Welcome,
Hello.
Caitlin.
And for those of you who don't know who Lisa is, it's SDCC GOT who is basically our savior and our everything. Your mother is awesome, Caitlin.
She finds everything.
She does. I don't understand how.
She sits there, and she's a stay-at-home mom, so she has time.
Well,
Wait.
we adore her.
Yes, she finds everything for us, so we can basically report all the news.
Yeah.
Okay, so the SDConCast is brought to you by 3D Light Effects, the makers of the innovative cordless 3D deco lights. Find the perfect Marvel, Nickelodeon, Hasbro, or Disney light to decorate your or your child's room. And now you can pre-order the brand new Star Wars lights on Target.com, available in Darth Vader, Yoda, or Boba Fett. Visit 3dlighteffects.com or our show notes to find out more.
And that's not the only way that you can get one of the lights, because thanks to 3D Light Effects, we are also giving one away right now. You can go onto our site right now, or again, on the show notes, to find out more, but basically you can enter to win any one of their Star Wars lights. If you're chosen to win, you actually get to choose which light you want, so they're really cool, so you should go enter.
When's the final day to enter for that?
It's either Sunday or Monday. It's either Sunday or Monday.
All right, so less than a week.
Yes, less than a week.
Okay, so today's discussion is why we brought Caitlin on, and that is growing up at the con. Caitlin has been going to Comic-Con since she was about 5. So in relation to that, Caitlin, what is your first Comic-Con memory?
I think my first memory was when I was little, and I saw this Princess Leia cosplayer, and she had this sparkly white dress on, and I was scared to go ask her for a picture, but my mom asked her, so yeah.
Interesting. So, and I know that Lisa said that you're now starting to make your own costumes and dress up when you go to con. Is that something that has inspired you over the years?
Yeah, definitely. I wouldn't have started cosplaying if I didn't go to Comic-Con, I think, because I wouldn't have known what it was. So.
Okay. Have you basically the last few years, have you been making your own costumes or just putting something together real quick for the show?
This is going to be the first year I'm actually cosplaying my own stuff. The past few years, my mom's been just like making my Halloween costumes. And so I have my first finished cosplay, and I'm working on one right now.
So what is your finished cosplay, and what are you working on?
My finished cosplay is Paige from Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared, which is a YouTube video, and there's like 4 of them now. It's the first one. And then I'm working on a Car Cat cosplay, and I basically just need the wig and the horns.
That's
horns.
Cool.
There's a lot of horns showing up at cons these days.
Yeah.
Is that Homestuck?
Yes.
Okay. Thought so. They're everywhere. They're at almost every convention I go to. When I go to steampunk and anime and regular, multimedia cons, and Homestucks are everywhere.
Yeah.
So starting from when you first went until now, have you basically always been doing the same thing, or have you changed what you go to the con and do? Like, have you always just been walking around and seeing the cosplay? Did you go to panels a lot? What have you changed, if anything?
I think we're starting to go to cons more because I'm older now and I can sit through them. Because before we really didn't go to panels or anything because I was too young, and my brother and my sister didn't like sitting through them either, and they were like boring as a kid. But now you can like appreciate what they're saying, so it's a lot like more like, oh, let's go to this panel and that panel, but we haven't like actually gone to any because it lines.
Yeah.
We actually sat in the Game of Thrones line, I think last year or the year before, for 9 hours and didn't get into Hall H. So I still hold that against my mother.
Yeah, we've heard that story, and you guys haven't tried since.
No.
Yeah, I think sitting in that kind of line without the payoff is definitely a way to sour going to panels.
Yeah, it's rough. So, I mean, since you have been going to conventions for forever, I mean, what do you think conventions are like when you're that little?
It's very like big and like it's all new to you, so it's like amazing, and like you see all these characters that you see on TV and shows and stuff, and you're like, they're real, and so it just it makes children very happy to be there, and it can be a little scary at times too because of all the people and like you're so short.
Yeah, I always wonder about that when I see kids at conventions. I'm like, are you just completely overwhelmed by the crowds? Because I'm of normal height, and sometimes I feel completely overwhelmed.
Yeah.
But cool.
So seeing all the characters, it's kind of like the Disneyland effect, where when you go to Disneyland and you see the princesses or the Mickey Mouse and the characters, is it basically the same feeling?
Yeah, if you know what they are. And even if you don't, it's like just, wow, that's real.
That's cool. That's actually kind of cool how the convention, without even trying for that effect, like Disneyland is actually trying for that effect, and they achieve it just by the people walking around that decided to cosplay because it's their favorite character, or they wanted to make do a project to make a cosplay. That's actually a really cool effect of cosplay. So now that you're older, is going to Comic-Con still cool?
Yeah, I'm the only one who's lasted this long, I think, out of the kids, because my brother was more into video games and my sister wasn't into it very much to begin with, but I grew up like since very, very little, so I think that it just stuck with me is the thing.
And do all of your friends and people at school, do they think it's cool going to Comic-Con and doing all that kind of stuff?
I hang around a lot of the like nerdy like anime and like convention people, so yeah, all of my friends are like, oh, that's so cool, and I wish I could go and stuff. But there's the few people who are like, convention centers, isn't that just for like dirty old men wearing cosplays and stuff? And I'm just like, no.
Yeah, unfortunately, the stereotypes still exist.
Yep.
So have you been to any other conventions? Are you hoping to go to any other conventions?
I haven't been to any other conventions, but a lot of them seem cool. I just don't have like, I can't take myself there, and it's like tight budget and stuff, so it's probably not going to happen anytime soon.
Do you think that you'll keep going to conventions as you get older?
Yes, I will try and keep going and cosplaying and stuff, but I'm 15 now, so it's like I don't really have an income to do that.
Right. Right.
You got to go to the easy one, the one that's local, and it just happens to be the biggest and best one, so you kind of lucked into that by where you live. And having,
Yep.
mom who wants to go as well and enjoy everything there definitely makes it easier. Having family to go with, like, because when I first started going, I've been going longer than you've been alive, which is very kind of annoying to say. But when I started go, I would go with my brother and his family, and for I think for the first 10 years that I went to Comic-Con, there was at least one family member going as well, which was really cool because you always had someone, even if, as a nerdy loner, I didn't have a lot of friends to go with. So it was always nice having someone there. Do you enjoy going with your mom, or do you sometimes now want to break off and go on your own stuff?
I think it's nice having her there and just like being there with her, and it's like bonding and stuff, but sometimes it gets annoying because we have like different views on certain things, and like we get tired at different times through the day and sit down a lot, and I'm like, no, let's keep going, and then she'll drag me to like places I don't want to be and I'm not interested in. So I feel like my friends, because they're gonna be there and stuff, I'll probably like ask to go hang out with them for like one of the days or something.
Yeah, that should make it a little a bit more variety and maybe a little bit more to your liking. Unfortunately, as a kid, you kind of have to go where mom goes until you reach a good age for that.
So, since you have been going for, will this be your 10th year, Caitlin, or roughly?
No, this is 9th because we missed a couple years when my brother was born.
Gotcha. All right. Well, you've still been going for quite a while. How do you how do you think the convention has changed from your perspective over the years?
It's gotten a lot bigger, definitely. It's gotten a little more difficult to like be in that environment just a bit, because like there's just so much more going on, and there's like all sorts of different new kinds of people that weren't there before, because before it was just like the comic people, because it was mostly comics. It was Comic Con. And now it's like spread to like all the TV shows, and everything is there. Everything wants to be premiered there, and like all the movies. So there's definitely like more normal people there.
Yeah, it's become more of an event than it used to be. It's more mainstream.
Yeah.
And do you have a problem with that, or is it just you accept it and still keep doing the things you've been doing?
No, it's not a problem at all. It's just like, wow, this happened,
No, it did. It's what happened, and a lot of people are complaining about it, though. But there's really nothing you can do about it at this point.
That's right. And it's still a great con. So.
Yeah. What are you looking forward to most this year?
I'm actually excited to be cosplaying for the first time, like actually like in a big place. Like the only time I've ever been out like in a cosplay was on Halloween, and then I did a photo shoot for my because there's a cosplay club at my school. So we did a photo shoot for some of the cosplays, and that was like the first time I was in public that wasn't on Halloween, where it was like acceptable.
So go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead, Carrie.
How long does it take you to make your cosplay outfits?
Well, the first one, it took like 2 or 3 weeks because I passed it off as my Halloween costume, so my parents paid for like half of it, and they got me around to get the stuff. And the Car Cat one, it's so simple, but it's taking so long because I have to get the money, I have to buy the things, I have to find them, I have to make them. So it's taken a lot longer. It's been spanning since Halloween, basically.
It's quite a while, yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't think I have any more questions. Is there anything about Comic-Con that you would like to see change?
Not really, like, specifically anything wrong with it that I find it needs to change. there's just little like things that are like, oh, that's kind of annoying, but you can't really like complain too much.
Okay, we can complain because have you been on the internet?
That's right.
So because we run this blog and we always have to cover all of the sides of it, and there's, you know, the ticket sales and the hotel sales and parking and, you know, people that line up for days, all of this stuff that a lot of people either they'll do gladly or they complain about or they have issues with certain parts of it. Because of how you've basically grown up with it, and your mom is, I think, the one who has dealt mainly with it. Do you see any of that, and does it affect you, or do you just go to the con, enjoy the con, and don't worry about any of that?
I mostly see the problems before the con and after the con instead of like during the con, because when you're there, it's like just enjoy your time there. You have so little of it if you're lucky to be there at all.
Right. Well, that's the best way to look at it, because as soon as you arrive, it's a ticking clock to where it's going to be over soon.
Yep.
Wow. Cool.
All right. Well, I've got one more quick question for you, Caitlin.
Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously, some people do think that you shouldn't necessarily bring your little kids to Comic-Con because, like we said, it can be overwhelming to some little kids. But since you've been going forever, I mean, what would you say to those people? What do you think kids get out of Comic-Con?
Just like being so unique, like at this big, huge, popular place, and like you're there, and it's just so amazing, and it just gives this like wow factor, and it builds memories and stuff. And like even if when you're little, people don't realize what it is, and you don't realize quite what it is yet, when you grow up, you'll be like, wow, that's what happened to me. I was so lucky, and blah blah. And so I think it's like just building on character and memories and stuff for kids and like imagination.
And I think that's the perfect way to look at it.
Yeah. Now, you said that your brother and sister don't really go or don't like it, but they did go at some point,
well,
right?
they went when they were like around 8 to 12, because that was a while ago. They're older now, so like when my sister hit like around 14ish, she stopped going, I think, or it might have been earlier than that. And my brother went for a couple extra years, but he was younger than her, so
What happened?
too early enough.
You froze there for a second, so we didn't catch all of that. But what I was asking is, did they enjoy the time there and then they just decided to stop going, or was it, you know, your mom wanted them to go to try it out and then they just decided not to go anymore?
Did we lose her again?
I think my sister thought it was cool, but then she kind of like it was away from her.
Sad.
All right. Well, apparently technical difficulties abound tonight.
Seriously.
So, sorry about that, kids. We don't quite know what's going on.
Hello.
But,
Hey, she's back.
hey, Caitlin. You keep freezing.
Well,
all right.
We'll get back if your connection gets a little better. We'll get back. But for now, we're gonna just go into the news.
Yeah, I think that's good.
All right, and first up, Carrie.
All right. So a couple things happened this week. The main thing, obviously, is upfronts are happening right now, even though at this point we know 99.8% of everything that's been renewed or canceled. Agent Carter got renewed. iZombie got renewed. Constantine got canceled, but it has the potential to live on Hulu or somewhere else. The Following got canceled. that pretty much does it for Comic-Con shows. Resurrection got canceled. We will be doing our annual, here are the possible TV shows that we think are going to be at Comic-Con, starting next Monday with the broadcast shows, and then we will move on probably Wednesday of next week onto the cable shows. So look for those. Some other things happened this week, though, including Disney announced that at D23, they are basically creating their own hall, which they've called Hall D23, to be able to seat more people. It's going to seat 7,500, which is actually larger even than Hall H, which can only seat 6,130 attendees. So let's talk about this for a second, James.
Yes.
A lot of people have said that they think that this is Disney coming at San Diego Comic-Con. I don't necessarily think that. I think it's basically just they know they've got the goods and that thousands and thousands of people want to come. And they're trying to accommodate them.
Yeah, I think it is actually a direct answer to what happened at Celebration. They realize that they have thousands of people who want to see their presentations, and they're going to have presentations that match them or are similar enough that they want to make the experience as good as possible for as many people as possible. And the easiest way to do that is to look at the other big convention around Comic-Con, see what they do, and they basically turn part of the convention floor into a room. And that's what they did. They turned, I think it's Hall D that they said they were turning into a room.
Yeah, it's Hall D, but they're calling it Hall D23.
Yeah, no, that's Disney. So. But I think that's exactly what it is. Look at what's working at other places and make sure it works there. And I think it's a great idea because based on the little bits that they gave in that press release, there's going to be at least 7,000 people who want to get in that room.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, Star Wars, Marvel, with special guests, people are going to be lined up, camped out for that kind of stuff.
And for people like me, the parks division is supposed to be announcing something, and there's been so many rumors about what's been coming or what has been in plans to be in the future that they may finally be announcing that kind of stuff because they didn't have a presentation at all at the last D23.
Right. And I think the fact that that's in the big giant room along with all the other stuff says that they do potentially have some pretty big announcements.
Yeah.
So
it's a big deal for fans of the parks.
Yep. And if you are considering going to D23, you can actually still get tickets right now. I believe that the discounted prices are now through June 30th, and then I think they go up again.
June.
Yeah. So.
But it has sold out on Saturday.
Okay.
Last year or the last convention did sell out for Saturday before the convention started at some point. I don't remember how long in advance, but it definitely did. And I think some of the other days sold out like right before the convention, like Celebration did, or right during it even. So
if you want to go, make sure you buy your tickets now, and especially since they're still a discounted price. Like if you're considering going, now's a good time to buy.
Yeah. After this announcement, if you are maybe got locked out of Saturday at Comic-Con, or you're local, or you can make it to a second convention just a month later, then this is definitely one to go because you may see the things that may not show up at Comic-Con this time.
Yep.
And more.
That's right. The only other thing that I want to touch on is Comic-Con International announced today that they are partnering with the San Diego Public Library for the Art of Comic-Con show. They're going to be featuring art from over 60 comic artists, and it's basically going to be different in-progress works of the souvenir and program book covers that they've had over the last 45 years. So the little sneak peek that they showed on their blog today looks pretty awesome. I mean, they've had some phenomenal talent over the
Yeah.
last 45 years. So the cool thing, too, is that it's free, and there's also going to be a reception on June 20th. That you can also get into for free. That'll be the opening day, and the reception will be from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. So if you are hanging out in San Diego on June 20th, you should head on over to the library and check that out. And it'll be running through August 30th, so you can also check it out if you find yourself with some free time during San Diego Comic-Con, or if you're there a day early or a day late.
Right, which a lot of people do.
Yep.
Okay. So also this last week we had the start of the major exclusives reveals. First one I'm going to cover here is from Mezco Toys, and they announced that they're going to have an exclusive Mortal Kombat X Ice Clone Sub-Zero, which is available for order to have it shipped directly, starting, looks like, yesterday.
Yeah, I think so.
And, you can also have it shipped basically to the booth where you can pick it up at Comic-Con. It's $30, and it's a 6-inch figure. It looks blue. It's translucent. It looks like. It looks pretty awesome, actually, though. I play the mobile game Mortal Kombat X, and it's pretty cool. So
I have been shocked by how many people have gone crazy over this exclusive. I don't watch Mortal Kombat, and Mezco's cool. I like Breaking Bad, and they make a lot of Breaking Bad stuff, but to me their exclusives have never been wow, that's awesome. But I feel like so many people have just gone crazy over this. So, if you want it, you might get on it.
Right. And I don't see the actual number, but it is a limited edition, so
yes.
If you want it, get it, and since it can be shipped directly to you, it's one even if you're not going to Comic-Con, you can pick up.
Yep. So what else happened, James?
The other one is one of the biggies. Mattel announced their first 2 exclusives, and this is the start of their announcements, and they're going to have plenty more. They announced the Ghostbusters Courtroom Battle Egon Spengler, and the Masters of the Universe Rotar versus Twistoid. The Ultimate Battleground, second Ultimate Battleground. Anyway, these. Oh, and the Hover Robots 3-pack.
Yes, there's also
exclusive. That's not really exclusive though.
It's not, but it was only available to those who were in one of the early, I think, members-only pre-sales back in February. So it hasn't been available to that many people. And I might be completely off base here, but I think I heard somebody say that Mattel is losing their Ghostbusters license. So I think that this might be the last Ghostbusters figure that they do. Again, I can be completely off base, but it's kind of cool if it is.
Yeah. So these are going to be available to club members and such for early access on May 28th. All access on June 1st, and you can pick them up at Comic-Con Thursday through Saturday, which they will announce when and where. Yep. And they will also be offering leftover exclusives for those not attending in the SDCC After Party sale, scheduled right now for July 27th. All the information's on the site. There's going to be more announcements. Mattel and, of course, Hasbro still has to come, but this is the big one that was announced this last week.
It's a big one. And to go along with what you just said, since that early access is on May 28th, I think we can say with pretty much certainty that most, if not all, of Mattel's exclusives then will be announced here this month. So it's going to be a busy month.
Otherwise, how do you know what you're buying?
Exactly. So it'll be a busy month.
Hit the button, item number 3. I want item number 3.
That's
Don't know what I'm getting, but it's $150.
What's in box number 1? Yeah, pretty much. So.
Okay, so that means if they announce these 2, that means we may be getting 2 every week.
Yeah, that's
maybe
usually
more
what they do.
if they have more than, what would that equal out to, about 8 or so? If they have more than 6 or 8, then we might be getting quite a few.
Yeah, if they do it like last year, they'll announce 1 or 2 every week, and then at the end they'll do a big dump. of the lesser.
This is everything else.
Yeah, pretty much. That's exactly what happened last year. So we'll see. That does it for the big news, but there are some other things going on, like our party, Enchantment, under the SDCC, and that we are almost done with. We have more than reached our goal. We are a little over 18,000 right now, but we could always still use a couple more dollars. Every dollar earned goes right back into the party, and we greatly appreciate any and all support. There's less than a day, just about a day right now remaining on the campaign. So
during this broadcast on May 12th.
That's right. That's right.
It ends May 13th.
Yes, it ends May 13th. So you can still go on right now and get your hashtag shirt, which, for those who don't know, is the shirt that we've been wearing to Comic-Con the last couple of years. We always get a lot of questions about it. It has the main hashtags for Comic-Con on it, like hashtag SDCC, hashtag Hall H, hashtag B20, all that kind of stuff. And there's even space for you to write your own hashtag, which is pretty awesome. So you can go on and give that. We also have some giveaways that we've already announced, including NinjaBot will be giving out 2 larger prints to some attendees, and then every single attendee will also get a smaller print from NinjaBot, which, if you haven't checked them out, they're awesome. We will also be raffling off a Hasbro VIP pass, which again is awesome. Mm-hmm. And we're also excited to announce that we have 2 prize packs, one from Funko and one from Stars, that we'll be raffling off. So some lucky attendee gets to go on with those.
Someone's going to win something basically every half hour, and multiple someones possibly during every half hour, because we're still getting prize packs.
Yes. Yeah, and we are still definitely working on getting new guys, all kinds of stuff. You have no idea how many people I've emailed. So
it's a lot.
It's a whole lot.
Yeah. Jeez. Okay, so party's almost done. We're going to start putting it together in the next few weeks after it ends, and we'll be basically just announcing. Hopefully, every week we'll have something to announce. For if we're going to get like new prizes and whatever else that may happen, and we'll see you there for those of you who got the tickets.
Yep, sure will. All right, so what else is going on, James?
Well, final wave of SDCC special guests were announced this week.
Which brings the total up to 70.
70 special guests.
70 special guests.
That means they're all going to be getting spotlights, right?
Pretty much, yeah. I mean,
most of them do.
Occasionally there's 1 or 2 who won't have a panel, but yeah, that's about 70 panels at Comic-Con right there. So.
Yep, that's 70 hours of programming right there, the spotlights for the special guests.
Yep.
And it looks like coming up soon on the podcast, we're going to be doing some movie predictions, because we wrote a post about that this week.
We did write a post about it, but we are going to be talking with someone who knows far more about movies than me, which is Jermaine over at Slash Film. I believe that's going to be May 26th. Don't hold me to that. But
yes, it's in 2 weeks, right?
Yeah, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But he is always a fantastic guest. We love Jermaine, so you guys should definitely tune in to that to hear all about what movies they think are going to be at Comic-Con.
Yep, that's going to be a fun one. And are we going to have any special guests next week?
Yes, actually, we're going to have the lovely fellows over at the Nerd Foo on. So
cool.
They will be joining us next week, and we've got some more special guests lined up later than that, but we'll be telling you about that soon.
Cool. So we're starting to get rolling into as we get closer to Comic-Con with announcements and everything. Speaking of announcements, I was speaking with the owner of the Shield TV and Agent Carter fan sites. Some of you may have seen her around at Comic-Con and may follow her sites, but they did a fan party last year at Henry's on Sunday after the convention ended, and they are going to be doing that again. Prizes, food, and just gathering for fans. And since both Shield and Agent Carter were renewed, it's going to be a celebration. But keep an eye out on their website and their Twitters and stuff for that. It's shieldtv.net and agentcarter.net. They'll be announcing details as we get closer to the convention.
Yeah. And I didn't get to go last year because I left early on Sunday, but you went, and it looked like a lot of fun.
Yes, I'm probably going to be emceeing the giveaways and stuff again.
Nice. Well, then I may actually have to go this year since I'm staying till Monday.
Hey, yeah, we're staying till Monday too, so we can actually go and enjoy ourselves and not have to rush out of there.
What? What is this madness?
Yeah, I know.
All right.
You gotta do the Monday thing. You gotta stay till Monday, or you gotta take Monday off because there's got to be some recovery.
This will actually only be my second year staying until Monday. The first year I did it was because my Sunday night plane got canceled, so that was slightly less relaxing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're trying it this year with actually planning to stay until Monday, and kind of excited about that.
Cool.
So, as always, you can find all the other news bits over in Under the Tents. And you can also subscribe to our mailing list, which comes out once a week. It comes out every Tuesday, same day as our podcast. And it's basically where we round up all the news. So as we get closer to Comic-Con, the rules start to be 20, 30 posts a day. And it's a little hard to keep up, even for the people writing it. So
yeah,
trust us. Subscribing to the mailing list is actually a great idea because it'll help you. You can look at it once a week, yeah.
Just go down the headlines, the titles, and just see what interests you and click on what interests you, and you don't have to go looking for it. It just comes right to you.
It's great. So we'll have notes. We'll have a link in the show notes for how you can subscribe to that. And I think that just about does it this week, don't you, James?
I think so. So be sure to check out the show notes for more information about our sponsor, 3D Light FX, and their brand new line of Star Wars cordless 3D Deco lights. And we would like to thank our special guest, even though she dropped off because of technical difficulties, Caitlin. We appreciate her coming on and talking about going to Comic-Con for the last 10 years as one of the younger set than us old-timers. And since she's not here, she can't answer the question, but she'll be hanging out with her mom for half the time and her friends for half the time. So if you see her around, say hi. Carrie, where can we find more of your work on the internet?
You can find me over on Twitter at Carrie Dixon. You can also find me manning the blog's Twitter over at SD_comic_con. And you can also find me writing about 95% of our content at SDCCblog.com.
She's not lying.
James, what about you? Where can we find more of you?
I am a Dan Regal pretty much everywhere on the internet, Flickr, Twitter, everywhere. Or you can check out our website, geekshotphoto.com. My wife and I run that, and you can see photos we post of Disneyland and Steam Powered Giraffe and my little Funkos that make appearances randomly on things. I'm doing a photo project, so they show up pretty much everywhere.
Great escape.
A great escape. Groot and Rocket explore all things. That's where you could find me. Instagram, all that. We are on iTunes. If you'd like to subscribe, the links are up on the blog, or search for SDConCast. If you like what you've heard so far, please review us. We are also on Stitcher Radio. The link is in the show notes. If you want to get a hold of us, you can send us an email at sdcomiccon.blog@gmail.com. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/sdconblog, or tweet us at sd_comic_con. I think that does it.
I think so too. So until next week, James.
Everybody, go shawarma.
Shawarma.
Yeah.